Right, okay, so I'll film this again because I did it again. I filmed the last one in portrait. Sometimes, you know, you just give up. But let's do it again. So I've been working on this chair. I needed a new PC chair. My old PC chair was broken. The back brackets had snapped on it, and it was pretty old anyway, to be fair. So I looked at obviously the fancy gaming chairs that are out there, and they went for anything up to £450, and there was no way I was spending that on a chair. And to be honest, even though they're £450, I have my doubts whether they're actually built that well for the money. So a car chair is always going to be built well. You know, it's got to follow strict regulations, and some car chairs, some of them are the nicest looking chairs you can get. So I had my mind set on either a Recaro chair, or I was going to get a Subaru Impreza seat, as they've got really nice seats in them as well, as I used to have one. But this ST Recaro chair popped up on eBay, came out of a Ford Focus ST, I think it was a 2017 model. And I thought, oh, that's a nice looking chair. I'll have a, wouldn't mind. It's full, you know, it's full leather, electronic. It's got 3 motors. I thought, wouldn't mind making that into a PC gaming chair. It'd be quite a good project. So this is the one I went with. I got a fairly good price on it. I think it was just over £100 because it had one of the right hand side plastics off the chair were missing. It was a driver's seat, but being out of a 2017 car, it's in excellent condition. It's just got a tiny little hole on the back of the headrests, which see if I can spin around and show you. Apologies for the lighting. Yeah, see, there's the little tiny hole there in the headrest, but that can be easily repaired. Other than that, it's all in excellent condition. So what I've done with it, if you follow my Instagram at all, and if you don't, you should pop over there and drop the page a like, because that's where all my latest projects and finished jobs get posted up. Most of my content, to be honest, goes on Instagram first. So what I've done was I had the original base that came off of my old dusty computer chair, and I modified that using a 5mm thick mild steel plate. I drew this up in CAD, and then I had it laser cut for me with the bolt holes matching the original base. There was no way to fix this onto the rails. If you know, as standard car seats, generally on every corner of the rail you've got a big bolt down bracket. If you can see here, this pin and where the other pin was, they were big rivets that went through and went from the rail onto the corner bracket. I used an angle grinder. Took a little while. It was a noisy job, and I cut all four of these angle brackets off. So the bolt down brackets were cut off, and then where I went from there was I was out of TIG gas. So because I had no TIG gas, I had to stick arc weld it, and as you'll see, it's not the prettiest of welds. I'm no professional welder. I haven't done that much welding. I used to have a MIG welder. Decided a TIG would be more suited to what I could see myself doing in the future. But ever since buying the TIG welder, I have never sorted out any gas for it. So instead I used it as an arc welder and stick welded the plate to the edge of the rail. It holds. It's pretty. It seems strong enough. Takes my weight, so it's got to be pretty good. Yeah, this is the other side. As you can see, what it's going to want eventually is just to have some paint, hammerite painted over it, or just spray paint it. So that's all bolted on there. It's pretty rigid, and I was well pleased that I now had a seat to sit back in to game, because I like gaming, but I can sit there for quite a long time when I'm gaming. And after looking online, I found lots of people complaining that these RS seats weren't actually that comfortable, which was disappointing. And most people complained that the backs of them would hurt their backs if they was in there for a long time. That wasn't what I found. I found, not being the most athletic person and healthiest, I suppose, I found that these side sections, when you're sitting here for a long time, that this main part of the seat in the middle is actually quite narrow, and that when you sat here for a long time, having chunkier legs, just here, I'm surprised it doesn't have a support coming up right on the outside here and finishing like here. But for some reason, if you dig your hand where this stitching finishes, yeah, there, where this stitching finishes here, if you push down in there, there's a big plastic bracket that comes up here, which is odd that it didn't come out here further away. So this piece would actually be squishy, but you'd have a hard piece of plastic right there with not a lot of padding on top of it that would dig into your sides of your leg. I was pretty frustrated that I'd just done all this work only to find it wasn't very comfy. But I've done a little bit of Googling, a little bit of searching on Google, and found that there's actually people who have had the same issue and have been modifying these. So if we come around to this side, this side section of the seat here is held on with like three clip brackets. As you can see, this long bracket here, it's like a U channel. That clips over this metal section here. There's one more there that comes over this section here, and there's a holding it in the middle. There's one that clips over this middle section here. If you release all three of these, you can pull up the material and you can get to the foam. And then what we had was, I've just modified this one. This big chunk of plastic was attached up here, and that's what you would find was digging you in the leg. So after looking online and seeing some other people who'd done it, I used a oscillating cutter, as you can see it there, just a Bosch oscillating cutter with a wooden plastic new blade on it, and I just pulled back the material and I just cut through to remove this chunk of plastic. That's one side now done, so I can pull these back over and fix the material back to the seat, and it doesn't lose any of its shape really. Once that's pulled back over there, I saw other Ford Focus owners saying that they'd removed it and that it would still retained its shape, but it's done away with the uncomfortable hard plastic that's right here. It's right there. So I'm going to have to put that one back, and then what I'm going to do is obviously just unclip this one again as well, cut that one off, put it back together, and that will then be the seat, hopefully a lot more comfortable. It won't be finished, that's not the seat finished after that. What I plan to do eventually as well is, as you can see, it looks a bit bare and a bit hideous, so I'm thinking of making some 3D printed covers. There should be a cover here that would cover up all this bolting mechanism for the back support. I might make it in separate pieces, one that would come here and then maybe two more, depending on whether what I can fit on the bed of the printer. Probably just put something on there to cover some of that up, because I would get a Ford original. That would be nice, that's what I'd like the original Ford one, but it's probably got an extortionate price tag on it for an original piece. So I will do that. And the other idea that I would like to do, and I was going to do before I got to this stage, but I needed a chair, was it's still got all of the control system and the wiring loom. Here's your switches. You've got, I'm going to forwards, backwards. It's probably going to be tilt the back. So what have you got? You've got four switches, as you can see there. That I'm guessing we're just going to originally have been mounted somehow on the side. I'd like to see a picture, if anybody's got one, of how it actually is as standard. That would be nice. So if anybody watches this and has a Ford Focus RS or knows of one or sees a picture, I'd like to see a picture of how that actually is originally. And then here's the wiring loom. So I've got the wiring loom with the wires coming off. I need to make sure that there's not, I believe I'd read that there was airbags in the sides. So if that is true, which I'll look at when I go through the wiring, I need to make sure I remove them before any power goes into this. So I want to wire it up basically so that you've got a motor here which I believe tilts the base backwards and forwards. You've got another motor back there which moves the whole seat forwards and backwards on the rails, and then here's your big motor here that does the back support forwards and backwards. So I'd like to wire that up so that all works. It's also got, according to the wiring underneath, it's also got heated seats, so it should have a heated panel in the base and a heated panel in the rear. I would quite like to hook that up and get that working, all off of a separate transformer. I could mount a separate transformer under here. I can't imagine it's a lot, 12 or 24 volt probably. I'd need to look into that. And I could mount one of them in here, and it could have a cable running out to the mains, so that the motors would work, and maybe even the heated seats, the heated panels. But yeah, so this has obviously been a project that I've just been fitting in between here and there, and it's coming along. It's got me something to sit on now, so that's a good start. I'll take this off in a bit and cut the other one out. But it's just to show that you don't have to necessarily stick to buying an expensive gaming chair. I mean, you didn't need to spend as much money as I did on this Recaro seat. There's much cheaper seats out there, probably more comfortable ones, to be fair, from scratch. It didn't really take a lot to fix it to the base. You could have a manual one would be easier, that just has a manual recline, etc. But yeah, it's a rock solid seat, that's for sure. It's heavy. It's certainly heavy to lift into the house, and that's my seat update. So hope you like seeing that project. I know it's not the best filming it here with the camera held in my hand, but I will get back to filming with the tripod. Please do check out the Instagram page, I'd appreciate that. And also there's a Facebook page, which generally I update as much as Instagram pretty much, but Instagram is one of your first places that to go. And please put a like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more projects in the future. Thank you very much.